Oh, you didn't do the intro? You're good. Welcome to the Undercovers podcast. I'm Ben, joined along with Tommy and Paul. Jenna is out tonight, but we'll get her back next week. But guys, kind of an ugly win for the Bills. They grind out a tough home game against the Giants in prime time. But more importantly, the Bills are back in the win column, and it certainly wasn't pretty. At times on Sunday, mostly in the first half, it seemed like the offense kind of figured things out in the second half. They had two of their three drives were for touchdowns, and obviously the last one, you had a Bass missed field goal. I mean, there's two missed field goals, so two of the offensive drives you could chalk up to Bass, and Bass has been money this year, but he just had a bad game. And I mean, I've seen a lot of finger pointing at the offense. I mean, Bass deserves his fair share of the blame. So does the offense, of course. But, I mean, more importantly, the Bills win it. It's not easy to win in the league. The Eagles lost. The 49ers lost. The Broncos grinded out a gritty home win. The Chiefs grinded out a gritty home win against the Broncos, who everyone said are the worst team in football. But Denver had a chance to tie it up late in that game. It was 17-9, so it's not like Mahomes and company has been lining it up on offense. I mean, they made a trade today. I guess we'll talk about that later. But, guys, what are your thoughts on that 14-9 win over the Giants on Sunday night?
Weird. To me, it was scary. Like, I was getting worried because, like at times, like when we ran the ball, like we were getting some positive yards with Cook in that game, and then they went away with it, and then the Giants linebacker made an incredible interception. Like, I mean, he just made a play on that play that Josh threw, and I just felt like every time they tried to get something going, like the drive stalled, and they either had to punt or try a field goal, which Bass was missing. But yeah, I mean, I with Dorsey's play calling, I mean, people can blame that, but then again, like Diggs was showing out, and I mean there were receivers open in that game I saw. So like I don't know if it's just Josh trusting Diggs more than anyone else on the offense, or it's just they just had a flat game, and then coming back from London too. So I just feel like maybe this week coming up it'll be a different story.
Weird week around the NFL. I mean, just Ben pointed out almost every game was almost a close game, grinded out type of game, and whether that's weather related or just teams just were off. I mean, just a weird week, but like heading into this game, the Bills were 14.5-point favorites. I mean, nobody was picking the Giants. Everyone thought this game was supposed to be the Bills just dumping points, and it ended up being 14-6 at the end of the game, I think, or was it 14-6 or
14-9?
14-9. Yep. So it came down to the defense to make a play. That's what it really came down to. And just watching this offense struggle just hurts, because they're supposed to be good. And again, there was I'm going to say there was plays that were to be made, but if your offense, like the passing game after the first three drives, the passing game was getting no work. I mean, it really wasn't working. Why does Ken Dorsey in the fourth drive come out, sling it 3 times, and then we 3 and out basically on that second drive? Come out running the football.
Yeah.
I mean, on that fourth drive. adjust to the
Sure.
run game because you know it's going to work because you've seen it in the first few drives.
Yep.
And that's the only point of criticism I get with Ken Dorsey is there's no adjusting. He just flies by the seat of his pants and he just goes
Well, what about
throw.
the second half? Like it definitely were adjustments made in the second half because I mean they scored
Yeah.
Right.
2 out of 3 drives, right? I mean the offense looked a lot
Right.
better. You saw them under center. They ran a little bit, so I mean I get it, but he did
To
make
me, it
adjustments
just
in the
felt a
second
little
half
too
though.
late. It felt a little too late because I think
Yeah,
he
I get
could
it.
have done it in the first, you know?
Yeah, but again, part of I feel like I mean, you look at the final score, I think that's part of it. You expect, just because the Bills were such heavy favorites, everyone expected the Bills to win by 14 points, not score 14 points. So that's why it was so disappointing because you had this idea that the Bills needed to score 38 or they're going to, and at times this
Right.
offense does, but the fact that they only scored 14, that's I feel like why fans are so upset. But again, if you kind of put the piece of the puzzle together, you pick it up. You have the Davis fumble on a
Mhm.
promising drive, early on in the game where they're looking to build momentum. Who knows the outcome of that? You had the Bass missed field goal, the Josh pick, which honestly, I mean, it wasn't a great read by Josh, but I mean, it was just a phenomenal play by Okereke. Like, I mean, he just made a great play to jump up there and get a mid on that ball to knock it up for the deflection. I mean, it happens at time, but
Yeah.
I mean, and then there was a punt at the end of, I think it was either the first quarter or the second quarter. I saw a tweet come up on Twitter. There's this one page, I think it's like the Surrender Index or something like that. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them, but they basically like rate like how cowardly a punt is based on the down and distance and situation and
Right.
compare it to like NFL history. And like that punt on 4th and 10 was like a 97th percentile punt. And maybe McDermott was just playing the field position. A weaker team, yes. I know he wasn't threatened by Tyrod's offense, but maybe you like to see him be a little more aggressive. But I know it's the Giants. But on the flip side, I will say going into this game, in the back of my mind, and I'm not a pessimist, I'm generally an optimist when it comes to the Bills, but just being a Bills fan, you know how these things work. Tyrod and Gable, 2 former Bills, coming back to Buffalo, homecoming on prime time. The Bills are heavy favorites. It was just the perfect storm for a Giants upset, and they almost did it. And guys, honestly, I mean, the Bills are fortunate to win, but I mean, a win's a win. Like, it's hard to get these wins. In years past, the Bills have lost games like this, which have ultimately cost them the 1 seed. They've had the Jacksonville game. That's one ugly loss. You would love to have won that Jacksonville game in 2021, 13-12, right? Or sorry, 12-9 instead of losing 9-6, right? Or 10-9. Like, you would have loved to grind out an ugly game against the worst team in football to help you get the 1 seed. Like, the NFL is a 17-week season. It's a battle of attrition. The Bills have injuries. They're coming back from London, jet lag, whatever. And you have to think of the time difference. They're playing almost 12 hours later than kickoff from London last week. So these players have eternal clocks and bodies and everything. And I've even heard coaches interviewed saying they prefer to playing 1 o'clock games because they're just so, regimented in schedules. They get into these routines down to everything, practices, film sessions, lifts, everything. They like to be so regimented and to this, specific order. And just the timing of a game could throw that off. So, I mean, the Bills played a crazy game in London last week. They lost so many stars on that defense. I'm sure that was an emotional game. They come back and, credit Kevin Masseri from Cover One, our good friend. He had this stat. I believe 13 out of 15 teams, Tommy, who declined the bye coming back from London have trailed in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, looking at history, the Bills are not an outlier with trailing, even though it is to the lowly Giants. And to be honest, I feel like the Giants, just because they've had some ugly games, get a little too much criticism. Like, they're still a pretty good football team. They're well coached. Wink Martindale has a defense playing good. I know they've had issues with missing tackles. They didn't miss any tackles on Sunday, or not many, but that's an aggressive defense with some good players, right? I mean, Xavier McKinney's a good player. Bobby Okereke was all over the field.
Yeah.
And then they still have Dexter Lawrence. I mean, Thibodeau is kind of coming out into his own as a pass rusher. So, I mean, this is still a defense with some talent. It's not like, the Bills were playing the Broncos and scored one offensive touchdown at home, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
that was the Chiefs. So
you were like the two factors of that game. I mean, it was literally Dable and Tyrod. I mean, who knows Bills
exactly. If Daniel Jones played that game, Tommy, it came down to Tyrod not turning it over.
Yeah.
If Daniel Jones plays that game, I think the Bills win by 3 or more scores.
Right.
Oh,
I said like who knows? Yeah, who knows it more than Tyrod and Dable? Like Dable knows like what Josh's weaknesses are, so that they gave him an advantage there. And then with Tyrod, I mean he's played with us. He's gone against this defense in practice, so he kind of knows what
he knows his defense. He played with Sean McDermott for a year, Jordan Poyer, and Hyde.
Yeah. So like
he knows his defense.
What he was up against. So it's like we at the end. So.
And not only that, Tommy, Tyrod Taylor takes care of the football. He does one thing that Daniel Jones will not do. And even the pocket presence, like there's a couple times where we'd get a sack. Maybe if it was Daniel Jones, he won't see the guy coming behind him and it's a strip sack or a fumble, something like that. Tyrod, he tucks the ball, he runs, he slides, he avoids putting the ball in harm's way. And I mean, he still is a very pretty deep ball. I remember seeing him. The Bills were playing Houston. I think it was 2015. Sammy Watkins had a huge game that day. I remember.
Yeah.
It was a home game. But Tyrod had a couple dots to Sammy that game, and I was in the stands on Sunday. I was like, man, this is kind of feels like 2015 again. He's always been an underrated football player, and I mean, I'll always respect Tyrod for what he did in Buffalo.
At the game, did they give him a good ovation, Tyrod, when he came out to the fans when you were at the game?
I mean, they booed the Giants. I mean, it's kind of hard when the whole team runs out of the tunnel. Right. I mean, but the Bills fans definitely didn't boo Tyrod. When he made a play or whatever. I mean, Bills fans still have a lot of love from Tyrod from what I've seen, and
he ended our drought, so we gotta.
Yeah, he did end our drought, so we do gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just with these grinded out type games, I think obviously Dable and Tyrod. Obviously, there's that factor of that game. Just Dable just trying to figure out everything he can do against this defense. But I think the defense played fine against the Giants. I think. There were times.
How many times were the Giants inside the Bills' 30? 0 touchdowns.
Right.
9 points. They had the ball on the 1-yard line twice, and they scored 0 points out of it. The first play, I think, wasn't it Bernard who shot through the gap and had that tackle, at the one, before halftime. That was a huge play because the Giants were going to go up 2 scores in a game where the Bills' offense kind of looked sluggish a little bit. But, I mean, they won a close game, and that's something they've had trouble with. One of the Bills, McDermott's, Allen's biggest criticisms is they cannot win the close games. You look at the record in their wins, most of them are by 30 or more. And then you look at the losses in 1-score games. There's more losses in the 1-score games. But, I mean, you got to learn how to win ugly, and that's something this team did. So, I mean, it's going to serve them as they get later in the year, play these, cold, ugly weather games because, I mean, you can't expect this offense to score 30 every night. It would be nice, and sometimes they're going to need it to, but depending on the conditions and depending on the defense, when we play the Jets again, we got to just, pound the rock, short passes, long sustained drives, and, convert in the red zone. But Josh Allen right now is the number 1 red zone QB in the National Football League. He has the most touchdown passes in the red zone. No red zone interceptions last year. So for all the people saying red zone interceptions, it's huge red flag, it was a complete statistical anomaly because Josh Allen did not throw a single red zone interception until the ball went through John Brown's hands in the AFC Championship game. And he still hardly threw any after that. This man doesn't turn the ball over in the red zone. He really doesn't. The only reason he did last year is because Isaiah McKenzie was responsible for probably 3 or 4 of those. I'm not even kidding. The one against the Bears was to Isaiah McKenzie. There was another one to Isaiah McKenzie, at least that I could think of. He doesn't turn the ball over in the red zone. So yes, I am a little concerned with the lack of motion or maybe creativity, but these red zone numbers, baby, I am loving them because that was their biggest weakness last year. It was red zone percentage, finishing in the red zone turnovers, and right now they're the best red zone team in the National Football League.
They're the second highest red zone efficiency. They're 75% in the red zone. I picked that stat up just right before the show.
Okay, but Josh Allen is the number 1 red zone quarterback. So I mean, they're second. So. No, he is. I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it retweeted on my timeline. But
another thing is that how people criticize him and being in shotgun in the red zone. Well, that's people say that's on Dorsey, but Josh likes it. Apparently, it gives him more field vision to be in shotgun.
No, I mean Josh is the one who audibles to shotgun. He likes playing from the shotgun. So for people complaining, I mean, I hate the draws, the sprint draw play they do. I hate runs from the shotgun. Just keep it under center. And now, I mean, I don't really think the run game is going to be affected by the loss of Damian Harris. And I'll just say, my thoughts and prayers are to Damian Harris for a quick recovery. Hopefully could come back to full strength. But to be honest, this run game, if you look at the stats through 6 weeks, it is Latavius Murray and James Cook right now.
Yep. Were y'all shocked that at the beginning of the game that Cook didn't get the first carries? It was Murray.
I wasn't surprised.
No. I actually, I don't know if I called for it on this show or a space, but I want to see
more Murray.
Yeah, I want to see someone else out there as RB1. I love me some James Cook, but I think he's a guy. I mean, and even Thurman Thomas went on One Bills Live today and said he'd like to see James Cook more in the passing game, and that's something I'd like to see him more. Sprinkle him in the passing game.
Yeah.
Don't run him up the middle. I think Murray is the third down back. I think you start the game with Murray, and I think Cook is your change of pace guy. And I mean, I'd like to see him in certain situations because I think he's a guy who could hit you your home runs. But I mean, I'm not displeased with Latavius Murray's 4.1 yards a carry so far. I think he has 2 or 3 touchdowns already on the year. No fumbles. I mean, the guy's a beast, and he's 33 years old.
Guys, I got a question for you. Why do you think we have a lack of a screen game? Is it just they don't practice it enough?
I don't think Josh likes screen passes, from what I've heard. I don't think I don't think he likes screen passes for whatever reason.
Okay.
From what I've heard, he just doesn't like the pressure forced to him. He'd rather not have pressure drawn up to him. So that's a reason I believe, at least from what I've heard, he doesn't like the screen game. I mean, but I'd like to see Hardy involved in that screen game more because his touchdown came on a beautiful screen pass out of the backfield. I mean, that guy has some ability. I don't think he's a wide receiver 3, but I think we can sprinkle him a little bit more into the offense.
Kind of that McKenzie type role thing that we saw with McKenzie, with Dable. Obviously
use him in that role.
I'm not saying, not trying to compare Dorsey.
No, I got it.
Right. Yeah.
I just want to see Hardy used in that role because that's what we thought he was going to be, and it kind of opened our offense into the more creative side and kind of and it opened up different things that we could use in our offense. I mean, use them in that role, and I think the offense will start to evolve. I mean, in that McKenzie type role, jet sweep motions, or even, motion Hardy around in the backfield, and you give it to him on a little wheel route, or it's just something like that. Screen, like a wide receiver screen, something, I think he's that guy who you can just stick on a 2-yard on a 2-yard curl, and you throw it immediately as you get the ball into your hands. And that will get you yards after the catch, and that should open up Diggs, Davis, and some of these other receivers that we want to start seeing used in the offense. And is one of my biggest knocks on Dorsey. It's just too simple, but it's not creative. I like the simple part of the offense, but it's nothing creative. It's something easy and predictable.
Right. Yeah, but part of it too, when you're a team that's not very good offensively, doesn't have a lot of playmakers, we remember the trick plays from Dable because he had to go into the bag to get something on offense. He had, to do the reverse, to the pass to Josh to get a touchdown in the end zone, because we weren't talented enough to simply go up and down the field and score touchdowns every play. I mean, the Chiefs don't even really, they use more motion, but they don't do a lot of trickery either. So I think that is a valid criticism, but you don't see a ton of NFL teams, like good offenses, like utilizing a ton of trickery. Like the Dolphins utilizing a lot of motion.
Run your entire playbook out of wildcat formation. I get it. But what I'm saying, let's see a couple, maybe 5 or 6 times a game, and that's it. Trying to open it up in a different way rather than let's sling it to Diggs on a 10-yard in route, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
But this is also an offense that is transitioning from primary 11 personnel to a heavy, fully 12 personnel offense, and we were missing one of our best offensive playmakers and one of our biggest pieces. Like Dalton Kincaid was a first-round pick. We moved up for him. We spent all off season working our offense into integrating Dalton Kincaid. We didn't have him on Sunday, so you could kind of see the effects it had on the offense. I kind of think that's how big of a role Kincaid plays on this offense, quite frankly, and hopefully he just cleared protocol. And happy birthday to Kincaid, by the way. I think he turned 24, I believe. Yeah. That sound right, Tommy? But yeah, happy birthday to Dalton Kincaid and to Paul, by the way. It's his birthday as well.
Birthday was awesome.
But Kincaid cleared concussion protocol today. Apparently, from what Jenna's heard, Knox's wrist is pretty bad. So with that potentially being an issue, maybe Kincaid starts to see more targets. And I'm not displeased with Kincaid's uses so far. He's a number 3 option in this offense. That's what we drafted him to be. If we weren't passing the ball as much to Diggs, I feel like Bills fans would complain that we're not utilizing Stephon Diggs enough or integrating him into this offense enough. Like he's one of the best receivers in football. Like last year, so many people complained about how Dorsey had Stephon Diggs in all these terrible situations, and now he's scheming him open or to get him open one-on-one situations all the time. And if you have your best playmaker one-on-one, you got to take advantage of that. And that's, if you go and look at the all-22 in the film, that's what Josh is doing. He's trying to get it to Diggs, but Diggs is open. He's making plays. I feel like it's kind of a lose-lose because now we've kind of gotten to where Diggs is in more favorable situations. He's eating, and maybe the other guys aren't getting it as much. Is that a Josh issue? Maybe, I don't know. Diggs, if it wasn't for Tyreek Hill, Diggs is having an offensive player of the year caliber season. And
100%.
Who knows with injuries or whatnot or matchups, Hill may have a couple bad games and Diggs have a couple big games. Who knows? But Diggs is having a phenomenal season, and I think we do got to give Dorsey some flowers for that, Tommy and Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be a healthy balance to me. I don't think there's a healthy balance. I think, feeding Diggs is great. He's the best receiver by far on this team. But when is feeding Diggs too much, and then when is feeding Diggs not? Is not good. I want to say not good. I'm trying to find words forcing it to him. When does it become you were giving it to Diggs and then the transition to we're just forcing it to Diggs. At times, like, yeah, Josh is trying to find Diggs, but then there's points in times Josh is trying to force it to Diggs. And I think, that could be I think it's a Josh, in a way, it's a Josh issue, but it's also, well, if no one else on this team can't get open, but Diggs can get open, try to scheme the other guys open. Try to find different ways to schematically get some of these guys open. Kind of like your Hardy guy, right? You have Hardy, who's that great speed tool. Scheme him open on a play and tell Josh Hardy's the guy that's going to be schemed open. Look for him. It doesn't have to be in headset. It could be in video sessions, whatever. I mean, Hardy's going to be the guy that's going to be open, but if and that's the guy you should go to. But if they say you get some sort of pressure or something happens, you can look out elsewhere and find the first guy that's first available if something bad were to happen on that play. But that's where I think some of these issues lie on. It's like you can get it to Diggs, but when does it become an issue? You're giving it to him too much.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, there was a play on the all-22 where, he threw it to Diggs, he was double covered, and then you had Morris that was wide. He was wide open, and I get what you're saying. It's I'm wondering if it's still a trust thing with these receivers. I'm wondering if Josh.
Me too.
Yeah, that's my only thinking is I don't know if he trusts them enough to make the catch, or I mean, because there have been times where like he's gone to Davis and he's dropped the ball. So
yeah,
but
I mean, and Davis did what versus the Giants? 2 for 21 or something like.
Yeah,
I know he's on pace for like 1K, but like, he didn't really do anything on Sunday. I mean, Hardy was more impactful, if we're being honest, because he had the touchdown. I mean, I think Hardy will get involved more. Like, again, this is kind of a new operation. We're changing things up on offense. It may not look. I don't think it's going to look fully it's still evolving. So there's going to be some rough parts in it, and he still has to smooth some things over. Like, I mean, it's early on in the season. Teams are making their adjustments or whatever. We have some players dinged up. We're missing Kincaid. I think I'm not overly concerned with the offense. What I am more concerned about is lack of a receiver besides Diggs, because I mean, Kincaid is great. Like, I think he'll be fine, but like, you're also asking a lot for a rookie to be, the number 2 option on a Super Bowl team. Like, that's a lot to ask for a rookie. And from what we've seen from Gabe Davis, can we trust him to come up? And so far, like, to me, he hasn't really passed the test. Like, I know people say, oh, he's got more yards and catches and touchdowns than Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, and Jalen Waddle. It's like, whoa, slow your roll a little bit. Like, most, those are guys that are established number 2s, and they could be number 1s elsewhere. Waddle's missed games. Higgins has missed games. Burrow is limping around. And, I mean, if anyone can really tell me with a straight face that Gabe Davis is better than Brandon Ayuk, tell it to me, because I am not going to buy that. But shout out to Beyond 716 for the comment. Check out the Coast to Coast podcast after this with Beyond and Whittle. Another great show. Love you guys as well.
Thank you, Beyond.
Awesome for the comment.
Thank you.
But to your point, I think the Bills have that secret weapon on this team. They just haven't found it yet.
Who is that?
I mean, it's been we played 6 games, and you're like, well, it hasn't shown. I think you saw that one little play with Shakir.
Oh, I know who it is.
Shakir's that secret weapon. I think Shakir's your secret weapon.
Mine is
in this team.
I feel like they had
I got someone, Tommy. I think you might know who I'm talking about. He's on the practice squad. Secret weapon.
Wait, you talking about our 5th round pick receiver?
Nope.
Justin Shorter.
Wait, he's
Isabella.
Oh,
Yes. Why not? Bring him up. I mean, what else we
maybe
gotta
he
lose,
is that
right?
secret sauce.
Let's see what he's got. I mean, he's been in the playbook for how many weeks? He's a former 2nd-round pick. He's got track speed. I mean, he had moves in the slot in the preseason. Like, come on, like Josh loves those slot receivers. Let's get Andy in right now. Why not?
that would be crazy.
I mean, we have 3 practice squad promotions. Like against the Patriots, like, come on, what is it going to hurt to have Andy Isabella running routes? We had Cole Beasley and John Brown running routes in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I think Andy Isabella now is way more qualified to be in the NFL than both those guys were last year at their stages in their career. So, I mean, if you think the receivers on the roster, Paul, I think it could be Isabella. Why not? Like, he's got more explosiveness than anyone else on this team, maybe besides Hardy. Like, let's see what he's got.
I agree 1000% with you. I mean, he was
Let's go. We're starting the Isabella movement, Tommy, right now.
Let's
get
do
it going.
His preseason was awesome.
Let's go. The train's starting, baby.
He was that preseason darling we all fell in love with. He went off the roster and he decided to come back here. He wants to be here. He's continuing to be here. Why not? All right, guys. Let's kind of transition.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. Plus, wasn't he our Tyreek Hill in practice, Tommy?
Yeah, I think he was.
He did a good job of keeping shut down Miami. All right, we can transition now.
All right, let's transition over to a fun little segment with Ben and Tommy, who's going to give you the best insight on betting for this weekend. It's best bets. What is your guys' best bets for this weekend and try to win some people some money this weekend?
This weekend, I think your best bet would be Cleveland -3. The Colts, like they lost Richardson for the year. Minshew's been kind of up and down, and Cleveland's defense is no joke. Like they can get after the quarterback, and I think Minshew's in for a rough game coming up. So give me Cleveland -3. I think it's your best bet for the weekend. What you got?
I like that, Tommy, and I'm gonna stick with the theme of good defenses. I'm gonna go with a championship defense a couple years removed. Desmond Ridder is the worst quarterback in football right now. You know the nickname we got from on Twitter, right? Like, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can say it. It is stage appropriate if you want to say it.
That's fine. There might be some Shitty Ritty, but anyways, I think Shitty Ritty is going to exactly just have a regular performance against this Bucs defense, divisional game. The Bucs are coming off a loss. They still got a tough defense. Baker Mayfield's have been playing pretty good football. So I think the Bucs bounce back and they're going to make life miserable for Desmond Ridder on Sunday. So I got the Bucs -2.5 as my pick, Tommy.
Good pick. I like that pick, Ben. Good job.
Beyond says Desmond Jitter.
I love it. Beyond.
That's awesome.
That is so perfect.
Got your rankings this week, Paul.
All right, before we preview the Bills Pats. I'm going to give you my top 5 college teams and my top 5 NFL teams. Jenna's obviously not here, so it'll just be me and my little bias. College top 5, I think it's completely different from last week. Mm-hmm. I didn't do college last week. I just did NFL, but my first in a while top 5 for colleges goes Michigan #1, best team by far in this in college football. At #2, it's going to be Washington. Ooh. I think Washington had an awesome game. Pac-12 don't play defense, but their offense is electric. #3, I got Florida State. I think a win home against Duke, it goes beyond far if they can do it in good fashion. I think Florida State and Michigan would obviously just be the top 2 teams in college football after this weekend. 4, I have Oklahoma. I think they're just playing flat out great football. Number 5, I have rounding out the list is Ohio State. That will depend how they will play against Penn State.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Michigan and Ohio State is going to be interesting at the end of the year. I mean, we could possibly be talking about a 1 versus 2 matchup in the Big Ten at the end of the year.
I hope not.
I do.
Yeah, let's hope not. I mean, for a college football fan perspective, that would be fun to watch.
No, it would not be, because no one wants to see the overrated Big Ten get overhyped by the college football playoff committee again and again, and have them wet the bed in the playoffs again like they do year in and year out. Next.
Beyond, we are Penn State 23 Ohio. Oh, he has Penn State beating Ohio State 23
All right, I like it.
Weekend.
I'm with you this week, Beyond. I got Penn State too.
I'm rooting for it.
All right.
NFL rankings. It's the same 5 teams, but I threw them in different order for this week. I think because these are right now the current top 5 teams. I'm gonna put them in different order this week. Number 1 is the Detroit Lions. I think they are right now.
I like it.
They are the best team
they deserve
in the
it.
NFL.
Did you steal that from Julian Edelman?
No, I did not. I think.
You see that, Tommy? That's his number 1 team as well. I'm just kidding.
I really think in maybe 4 weeks.
I think Steve Smith had him at number 1.
Steve Smith as well? I don't know. He probably did.
No, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, yes, he did. Stephen A. Smith did.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith, yeah.
Number 2, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I think they are the second best out of the 5-1 teams here. Number 3, I have the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. You know, they didn't play good. They haven't really played good on offense this year, but I think they're good. Right. Number 4 are the Bills. Just, you know, it's just really a mind game at this point with the Chiefs and the Bills, and they're really right now kind of even in my book. At number 5, I have the Eagles. Just tush push, is making Jalen Hurts look like he's the best quarterback in football. Beyond, thank you again for commenting. If anyone else who's watching wants to get into the conversation, more than welcome to.
I agree, Beyond. He's playing great football right now.
Yep, I agree, Beyond. Jared Goff, he's clear-cut MVP, I think, right? I think him and Tua probably got to be.
No, him and Tyreek, Tommy. It's Tyreek and only Tyreek that makes that offense go. You take out Tyreek, totally different team, I'm telling you.
Right.
Agreed.
Paul, I was surprised you didn't have the Dolphins in your top 5. I thought you were going to put them in your top 5.
Yeah, me too. I was expecting the Dolphins in the top 5. I know Connor's probably not too happy watching this, but
I'm sure Connor doesn't agree with that because I know he's watching tonight.
So. Yeah, but you know what? I agree with Paul. That gets my stamp of approval.
Mm-hmm.
If you beat the Eagles, Connor, we'll have a different story.
Yeah.
You'll have a discussion then if you can beat the Eagles.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good
Bills.
That one.
Bills versus Pats. Let's kind of dive into this game just a little bit. I mean, it's the Stefon Diggs show. I mean, he always loves the trash on these Patriots. I mean, including his celebration from years past.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Diggs has a 2 or 3 touchdown game against New England. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Like, J.C. Jackson is back out there. Their stud rookie, Christian Gonzalez, is out. Matthew Judon is out. Like, I think this is the perfect storm for the Bills to have a get-right game and drive the Patriots into the ground. I think Leonard Floyd might, pull a Chandler Jones on Mac Jones at some point in that game, pick him up and then stiff arm him into, midfield. And then all the Patriots fans are just going to boo and start throwing stuff on the field. Like,
we might see some.
I think that's a get right game. Like, the Patriots, they have been a mess recently. Mac Jones has gotten benched 2 out of the last 3 games. They don't have any weapons on offense to scare me. And if Kyer Elam is getting cooked by Devontae Parker, then we should have serious issues and, maybe talk about making a trade. But I don't really have a lot about this game, guys. I'll be honest. Like, the Patriots, they're a joke right now, respectfully. Like, I mean, Mac Jones, he's a bottom 5 quarterback in football. They don't have anything going offensively. Anything. It's crazy. Like, everyone said it was the play caller. And I know Matt Patricia is not an ideal offensive play caller. But, I mean, it's crazy that they had a better offense last year with Patricia than Bill O'Brien, who's supposed to be some offensive genius.
Yeah. Ben, I'm going to give you a stat here. You're going to think this is crazy, but it was tweeted out. You know how many touchdowns that Mac Jones has in October?
Probably 0.
1.
1?
As many touchdowns as Derrick Henry has thrown in October.
Wow.
Yeah,
I believe it. Like, Noodle Dick Jones.
Yeah. But
like,
he's that noodle
Mac
arm.
Jones. I went to a game where Mac Jones threw 3 passes and won the game. That's all you need to know about Mac Jones. If he doesn't have a run game around him, weapons too, like, he's not a good quarterback at all. Like, New England, I disagree that they're going to fire Bill Belichick, even if they go 1-15. I don't think they fire Bill Belichick just because of what they're stuck with at quarterback, but I think they're going to draft another quarterback this year, and we could see some major changes with New England next year. But yeah, that offense not good, Tommy.
But somehow they know how to beat the Jets. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the Jets,
but I mean,
they know how to beat the Jets.
That's the Jets. Like, they beat the Eagles, but I mean, it's not that I even expected that game to happen. But like, I mean, the Eagles are undefeated. They were due to lose a game. The Jets, I mean, for some reason they play up to their competition, but when they play the bad teams, they struggle. They really do. Like, they almost lost to the Broncos. They lost to New England. The Miami games are interesting. I actually think they might be able to take a game from Miami, but like, I mean, I even think the Texans can beat the Jets. Like, the Falcons, like,
I don't know.
I mean, but still, like, it's going to be a battle of the 2 of the worst quarterbacks in football against, 2 of the best running backs in football, probably, right? Breece Hall and Bijan. I mean, but again, the Jets play down to their competition, and who knows? Your defense can only take you so far. Like,
it's true.
They're going to play well as long as they can, and then they're going to get tired because their offense can't score more than 10 points a game, and they're going to start, mailing it in on the season.
Yeah, like I said, I have not much with. I think this game, where it's a bounce back game on our offense. I think this could be. I mean, I want to keep saying it, but I think this could really be the Kincaid game. This game,
I agree.
This
game is the Kincaid game.
I think it is. People are. He's gonna. It's either gonna be this week or they're gonna save him for the end of the year. They're saving him for the end of the year.
Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah.
Or this could be the Andy Isabella game.
What are you thinking, Paul?
I mean, if the Bills can hold Tyrod Taylor in that offense, who you knew just had nothing on that team, to 9 points, and a game where Mac Jones in the month of October, noted by Tommy, has 1 touchdown, and that's as many as Derrick Henry. And this offense, before scoring 17 points against the Raiders, could only score about 3 points a game, and they're facing our defense. The chances of them scoring 2 points is hard. Yep. I mean, 2 points is we're giving them 2 points, and there's no way we're just going to hand them a point. Right. I mean, there's no way they can get a point. I mean, they're going to have to go down against our defense.
Right.
At most, I can probably see they're getting about 3 field goals, and that's as many as we gave up last week.
You might even see Von Miller get his first sack against.
I don't see a way where Mac Jones would just completely shred us apart, but I do see a scenario where, it's an AFC East rivalry game,
right,
where where this game could be instead of a 38-3 game, this could be a 21-6 game type of feel.
Right.
But our offense looks better than what it did last week. But we get 3 offensive touchdowns rather than 2. But our offense looks fluid throughout the game, just because it's an AFC East rivalry game and division games in this league. It doesn't matter how bad the other team is. It's hard to win division games.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We have 82% chance from FPI to win this game.
I think it could almost even look like last year's New England game, right? Like that game was really never in doubt, right? We had 3 touchdowns. We probably could have had more. We ran the ball pretty well. We had long sustained drives. We almost had another touchdown if it wasn't for Tommy Sweeney having that stupid holding penalty. But yeah, I think it could go like last year's. But like this New England team is just not good at all. Like they're injured, they're banged up. I don't know. I mean, Bill might have them, get up and play for this game, but I think the Bills roll personally.
I think so too.
It has a feel because we're trying to talk about a Bills offense comeback game. Just makes me feel that this could just be another Josh Allen perfect game against the Patriots. It just
imagine that in New England too.
Oh God.
Yeah, Josh finally has 5 or 6 touchdown passes in a game too this week. 2 of them to Kincaid.
Travel to this game. There'll be a good amount of Bills fans at this game.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you don't know how many Patriot fans are going to show up for this 1-5 Pats team, so it might be loud for Bills Mafia and Gillette. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's in our advantage maybe too. So
we got our game picks.
I do.
Okay, let's
do those. We were very sloppy in our game picks last week. A lot of us went 500 last week. Let's try to, maybe because it was just a weird NFL week, let's try to ripen them up a bit. And starting with the Jaguars going on the road on Thursday Night Football to the Saints. Maybe the best Thursday night game of the year we could probably get.
No, I think Chiefs and Lions was probably good week 1. I don't even know it's opening week. Let me go with give me the Saints actually. I know the Jags signed a quarterback today, so I don't know if Lawrence is going to be playing or not. So it's at home.
I saw an interview. He said he's optimistic in playing. So like if he's playing,
optimistic is one thing. But I mean, even if the knee is a little banged up, maybe he's not too mobile. I mean, the Saints have a pretty good defense. Yeah, and the game, it's in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans.
That is a tough place to play. Yeah, I'll go the Saints. Why not?
All right. Upset. I think the Jags still pull it out. I think they're gonna pull it out at the end. I think it's gonna be like a 22-19 type game. So give me the Jags.
Interesting thing, because I've been everywhere the last few days, and just thinking I didn't even realize Trevor Lawrence had an injury when I was writing these down just a day ago. I'm just like, well, no, I find out today he's somewhat injured. Give me the Saints.
Okay.
Uncertainty at quarterback are big reasons why you win games. If they're going to roll with a backup quarterback that maybe nobody knows their name, I mean, chances are it's going to be hard to score points.
Right.
Give me the Saints. Next game.
What was Jenna's pick? Did she have a pick?
She didn't send them in, so we'll wait on them.
Yeah, we'll tally them up after.
Okay.
Yeah. Raiders going on the road to the Bears. This could be a backup quarterback brawl.
Ooh. Oh man.
Is Hoyer starting? Because if Hoyer's starting against that Bears defense, give me the Raiders. I think the Raiders.
I don't know about Hoyer still.
They still got the weapons. They got more. I think they got the weapons.
Who is Tyson Bagent the backup for the Bears?
Hold on, I can get it.
Look at the depth chart, because if this undrafted D3 rookie quarterback comes in and plays better than Justin Fields, a first-round pick, can you imagine coming from Shepherd of all places?
Tyson Bagent is listed as the number 2.
Wow.
Nathan Peterman is listed at the number 3.
A good storyline, man.
It would be a big time storyline. If that's the case, give me the Bears. The Bears. Let's go. I think they do it. Tremaine Edmonds gets a pick on Hoyer. DJ Moore has a couple big plays. Give me the Bears.
All right.
Brian Hoyer is this kind of like this Matt Flynn go around the NFL, kind of like maybe like Ryan Fitzpatrick vibes, but he's been nothing but good. Brian
Pico
Hoyer
Alonso really ended his Cinderella run, if you remember, Tommy.
Yeah, I think
the Bears. I don't trust the Brian Hoyer, and every time I see Brian Hoyer, he can only score like 6 points. So I mean,
true.
Okay.
Right, maybe this could be
the Brian Hoyer game. Maybe
1 o'clock window. Ravens.
This should be a prime time game. No, I'm kidding.
Lions.
Ravens. Lions. Oh, is this in Detroit?
Baltimore.
Still give me the Lions. Motor City, Dan Campbell has them boys playing well. They look like a juggernaut now. The Ravens have kind of been in the mud. I mean, I know they won that game and there's flashes of the offense waking up, but Lamar's had some bad interceptions this season. I like the Lions. They're kind of on a roll. The defense has been playing good. They got Jamison Williams back, to opposite Amon-Ra. Like, that's a deadly 1-2 punch. I know people are concerned, fantasy people are concerned about losing Montgomery, but all that means is my guy Jahmyr Gibbs gets to go in there. They have Laporte as well. Oh man, the Lions are loaded, to be honest. Yeah, give me the Lions.
My fantasy teams are shredded.
The Lions as well. I think Hutchinson has a field day with Lamar. I think he's going to get.
What if he gets a pick 6?
I'm saying that he's going to get a pick. I think. I don't know about a pick 6, but I think he'll
Can you imagine if Hutchinson got a pick 6
off Lamar Jackson?
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking the Lions as well. I'm loving this team so far. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, me too.
The Lions are young.
I love
the
this
Lions are
team.
fast. The Lions they have maybe what is a sleeper MVP candidate. They also have a good offense. They got running backs. They have an offensive line. They have a defensive line. They have it everywhere.
And
That's
they got a
5-1.
great
They also have a good head coach.
A great
Dan
head
Campbell
coach.
And these pumped up Lions going into Baltimore.
Yep.
All right. 4th selection.
I mean, sorry.
Oh, you can say one word.
No, go ahead.
All right. Chargers on the road to the Chiefs in an AFC West divisional game.
As much as I want to pick the Chargers because they always play the Chiefs close, it always comes down to the end of the game. Herbert has good games, but it seems like he can never win it at the end. And Monday's game just left a bad taste in my mouth about the Chargers and everything. The Chiefs, they got
like him missing those targets. Like he
missed some bad throws. He was off. He had a bad pick at the end. But the Chiefs, they're getting some outback. I don't know if Clark is going to sign officially, tomorrow, but I think he should return to the team from what I've heard. They just traded for Mecole Hardman. So, I mean, it kind of seems like the Chiefs, I know they dropped week 1, but, I mean, they've quietly won 5 games in a row, and they're starting to put things together. And this is a team you still do not want to write off with, the best quarterback in football, one of the best weapons of football, the best coach in football today. So I'm not picking the Chiefs against the Chiefs in this type of game again. Give me the Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs as well. Like, after seeing Herbert, like, they had that. They should have won that game, Ben. I mean, like, they were.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys did not look good at all. Like, if Herbert would have made those crucial throws, like, they would be going in there with a lot of momentum going into that Chiefs game. But knowing them, like, I think Staley needs to go, to be honest with you.
Oh, he should have gone a couple of years ago. But you know what? It's good because we want all these AFC teams to lose.
Yeah.
Move them down in the standings.
I think this year he finally gets canned, and
he should.
I don't trust the Chargers anymore. Give me the Chiefs.
Do we know if Taylor Swift's attending this game? Has that been confirmed yet?
I don't think it's been.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'm just curious.
I don't know if you heard in the
seems like a
interview, though,
report that
Tommy.
everyone likes to know.
What's up?
Is, you know,
I guess
but
Andy Reid may have set them up.
Oh, he
That's
did.
what he told. That's what he told Donovan McNabb in a podcast.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
I wonder if it was maybe that's why there's a State Farm commercial at a restaurant. Maybe that
Maybe.
has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I'm torn on the Chargers. I'm 1-1 with picking them. It seems like every time we have put the Chargers on the list, it's either the last 2 times actually we all went Chargers, and Chargers lost to the Miami Dolphins, and then they got a win against the Vikings. I don't know where to go. I'm probably just gonna say Chiefs because it's in Arrowhead. It's
right.
Yes, I think it's.
We got the chop. Yeah, that's a tough place to play.
Yeah,
it's a tough place to play, and
I was
honestly,
in the Florida State chop, Tommy, because I'm wearing the FSU shirt.
yeah, you got to do it. That's your team.
It is my
it
team.
is your team.
Got to go with it.
All right, maybe the matchup of the weekend.
Woo.
Sunday night football. Dolphins, the road to Philly. Philly fans are hyper about their Phillies right now. How hyper are they about their Eagles getting a big win on Sunday night?
They're going to be as hyper as I am because fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Yeah. Let's go. I'm picking the Eagles.
You know what?
They're going to be pissed coming off that loss.
Yeah.
It's in Philly. Jalen Carter should play. To me, the way you beat Miami is with interior pressure. Yeah. And if Connor Williams isn't 100%, you send those boys up the middle and you get after Tua. And to be honest, do you think Miami's defense can stop Philly's offense either? Like, they're just going to be marching up and down the field. Like, I mean, A.J. Brown's probably going to have 3 touchdowns, himself. Like, yeah, give me the Eagles.
Might make a debut.
Yeah, Julio, baby. Let's go. He's going to score a touchdown, I bet.
Yeah,
hot take.
I had the Dolphins this one, but I feel like the Eagles, they're coming back. They're going to take it out on the Dolphins.
And they're wearing the Kelly green, Tommy. Those uniforms are going to look sick.
Give me the fly, Eagles fly. Come on, Eagles.
I got another aspect and storyline from this game. Jalen Hurts was benched for Tua Tagovailoa in college at Alabama. Ooh. He finally gets his chance to get his revenge on Tua for getting benched for him. Give me the Eagles here all day.
I'm on it. Fly, Eagles, fly. Give it to me. Lock it in, Paul.
Philadelphia, in general, right now, is a place you want to be. The Phillies
oh my gosh, the vibes there.
The vibes right now. I mean,
that song the Phillies sang at their stadium is so catchy.
Phillies, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this game where Miami should feel comfortable winning this game. I mean, the vibes in Philadelphia, it's just wants me to go down there to watch this game and just watch the energy.
Oh my gosh, Paul, the vibes in Philly are so immaculate right now. You know that song they sing at the Philly Stadium? It's so catchy. Like,
it really
oh
is.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think October is Philly's month. It really is.
Oh, really is right now.
The high-powered Dolphins offense. They're going to be ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's not a team's month is the Vikings. They're just not playing good.
I feel bad for Minnesota this game.
Yeah.
But the 49ers didn't look good.
This game is in prime time, isn't it?
Yeah,
Monday night.
Prime time Kirk against the pissed off 49ers team. The Vikings are one of the worst teams in football. The 49ers ran into the buzzsaw, which is Jim Schwartz's defense. A great defense, by the way. If you look at some of the stats, like there's this one number, I'll look it up and retweet it, but like the Browns have like one of the toughest defenses to get a first down against, like since the year 2000, since they started recording that stat. They're number 1 so far, 6 games. So they're very hard to get a first down on that Browns defense. Like they're playing at a remarkably high level, like truly elite type stuff on defense. Like I know everyone's talking about the Jets defense and they've shut down some good offenses and played good, but like the Browns defense is playing at another level. And they made the 49ers offense, look like a pea shooter offense. And they've just been running up and down the field on teams. And like Minnesota's offense is pathetic. Or defense, sorry. Their defense is pathetic. They're missing their best player on offense. So give me the Niners here. Easy win.
With no Jefferson, I mean, their running game is kind of.
And they lost Davenport. He went on IR. Yeah. One of their best pass rushers.
I mean, I feel like their best player on defense is Hicks.
Daniel Hunter?
No, Jordan Hicks. I think their middle linebacker is probably.
Oh yeah. Well, the other guy they got is it Pace, the rookie they drafted?
Yeah, he's good too. But
Hicks is good. Yeah, I know Hicks is good. Hicks is a baller.
If I was being like, if they really wanted to upgrade linebacker, that's one of the guys I would go call, and I think they can get him pretty cheap. So, but yeah. Other than that, though, 49ers like they're gonna come back strong. They're angry after that loss against Cleveland. Give me the 49ers.
Last week we all went 49ers, and we all like the 49ers are just gonna trash the Browns. I mean, that was the vibes last week. Now it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, obviously I know the 49ers are going to win, but how is it going to look for the 49ers? We talked most of the show about how the Bills are going to bounce back, but how are the 49ers going to bounce back? Because this is an interesting game to watch in Monday Night Football. How are they going to respond? I think they're going to respond fine.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys really think Minnesota's defense is going to be able to put up much resistance against this offense, even if CMC doesn't play? Like, they still have Mitchell, who's a proven back in that offense, who works in that system. They still got Juszczyk, Kittle. They got those weapons on the outside, Debo and Ayuk. Like, Ayuk is one of the most underrated receivers in football. I can't believe someone actually tried to say Gabe Davis is better than him today, but I guess land my plane.
I'm with you. I think Ayuk's way better than Gabe.
Oh man, I mean,
I think he is.
If I could straight up trade Davis for Ayuk right now, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like if Davis is better, give him the San Fran, right?
100%. All right.
You guys have any more thoughts on that Pats game? I mean, maybe the run game could cause some issues if Stevenson gets off, but like they're just offenses just look very out of sorts. Yeah. Like they have one of the worst rated offenses in the league. Like I know our defense isn't going to struggle, and like their defense is pretty banged up. So I mean, I think it's at least a 14-point win.
I think we can get after Mac Jones. I think we could definitely have a lot more sacks in this game than we did against Tyrod.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think there's no reason we can't have a Saints or Cowboys like score with this team.
I agree.
Like, this team is pathetic. Like I mean, there's no reason. I mean, it could be like 42-6 or 48-3. Like they shouldn't score on us. It could be over halftime.
But could have ball cap Josh, rolling on just chilling on the sideline in like the beginning of the third quarter. It could be
really this game could just be the Bills get a touchdown and win. Kind of like last week, I think, the minute the Bills scored a touchdown last week against the Giants, I kind of called game because it just felt like how it was.
Yeah,
and I knew the Bills
and I feel like for the Bills, it's just start strong. If they can score on that scripted drive, or they could score, in the first quarter, get the monkey out their back because their offense has been stale in the first half, the last couple of weeks. So if they could score early, I think they'll kind of get them in the ebb and flow of the game, and there'll be less pressure.
100%. Guys, any more thoughts before we head out for the night?
Other than really just
go Texas, by the way.
Okay.
Rangers,
right? Yeah, you're a Yankees fan, Tommy. Are you gonna root for the Astros?
Hell no. Yeah, let's go Rangers.
Come on, let's go Rangers. Right? Yeah.
Let's go Rangers. We have a lot of former Yankees that were played for the Rangers, so.
Yeah, like Evaldi, right?
We have Evaldi. We have who's that other pitcher that I forgot? What was Montgomery? We have Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery.
Aroldis Chapman's over there. I mean
there's a lot of former Yankees.
A lot of former Yankees on that team. Which I would love for them to knock out Houston. So.
Oh yeah. Chapman's a former Cub. He won me a World Series. That's right. Let's go. All right, but we'll have more coverage on this game tomorrow with Matt and Patrick at 7 p.m. on The Basement. So tune in. Do you know if they're having a guest on, Tommy, or just regular show as usual?
I haven't heard anything about a guest.
Yeah, Matt. Well, check out their Twitter. Matt always posts the updates about it on his page and whatnot. But tomorrow we'll be going more in this game in depth, and then next week we'll recap it. Obviously, hopefully, we'll have more to talk about on offense. We'll be less depressed with that offensive performance
next week because I'll actually be traveling to Buffalo, so going to the game.
All right, let's go.
To talk trade deadline talk or deals if we can make a deal. So I will be. So you'll have Jenna back, but I'll be traveling. So I will.
All right. Well, we'll have Jenna back next week, and Tommy's going to the Bucks game.
Yes, I am.
So let's go.
Let's go.
Have a good night and go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.